Now I want to talk about an area you'll probably spend a lot of time in. That's the control panel. And this contains applets that are used to manage your operating system. If you go to get to your control panel, you just go down here to the start button once again. Then lo and behold, over here on the right side, that's right, click on the control panel. And there's different ways that you can access this as well. Let's just say for an example we want to just type in control panel. Why would you do this if you can see it there? I don't know. But if you don't have your mouse and all you have is your keyboard, you could get to it this way too. But you could also just use your arrow keys, but we won't go into that. As we just start typing in control panel, oh, look at that. It's listed up above. We can select it there as well. The final way that I will show you is if you have Explorer open, let's say that's your active window, you can just come up here to the address bar, start typing in control panel. There it is, select it, and now you're in the control panel once again. Once you're here and you go to start looking for something, you can adjust the view here. You can look by these categories such as system security, network and internet, programs. If you know a category, you can usually get to it, but let's say you don't really want to take that kind of time. You can switch this to icons. Now from the icons you can see how everything's broken down into another layer. Now let's say I wanted to add or remove a program, I simply just find it here in the different options. And what I would do is just simply click on programs and features. And you're going to go into this probably more often than you would like to. This is where you're going to see programs. You can find updates. Let's say a program, you're looking for a virus. You come in here and there's a really weird name and there's no publisher. It says unknown. That might be the problem, or you've had a pop-up and it has some type of name. Let's say craziness. And then you look in here and it says craziness. You know you didn't install that, or the person didn't install it. You can select it and go up and remove that application. Hopefully. If not, there's other ways, but we'll get into viruses and virus removal later on. So like I said, there's a lot of times that you're going to go in to the control panel. If you have to, let's say you want to troubleshoot a network issue, you could go in here, look at your network and sharing center. If you wanted to check on a printer, let's say you want to add a printer, or let's say a Bluetooth speaker, you could go in here as well. Lots of things you can do in here. Let's say you were going to change the input language. You could come in here and change that as well. Let's say the person's going to be traveling. You could change that to help accommodate that. Next feature we'll take a look at is the Action Center. The Action Center is just a tool used when you want to make a quick jab at solving a computer problem. Sometimes as you're installing something, you might see that it doesn't install correctly, and you'll see this little flag down here gets a red X in it. If that's the case, you know that the Action Center is indicating there's a problem. You can click on there and see what problems you have. As you can see, I have two issues here. I click on this, I can open up the Action Center, but right away I see that I have two messages. One, that my Windows Defender program needs to scan for any type of problems, and I have not set up a backup. I could do that by clicking that here. So the Action Center will list the errors and issues in the attention, as well as give you some help on getting those fixed. Like Windows Defender, I haven't scanned in a while. I can just simply click scan. That'll scan the computer, and then this error message or warning message will go away because I will have satisfied the requirements. Now if the issue was critical here, instead of this yellow bar here, I would have a red one that would kind of flag to me, hey, this is a critical issue and you need to look at it. Such as, let's say I didn't have any virus protection on this computer, then I would probably have one there that was red and says, hey, you need to get some virus protection on here before something happens. And then if I am just tired of it and I don't want to see this message again, like with the backup, simply click on turn off messages, so I'm no longer bothered by that message, and I'm taking the risk of not having a backup, of course, but we all know I'm not going to take that risk. Now let's talk a little bit about UAC, or User Account Control Box. If you ever worked with Windows 7 or Vista this, you've probably seen this box come up, and this is one of the reasons that a lot of people didn't like Windows Vista when it came out, is because the UAC was so bothersome. The UAC, or user account control, appears each time a user is going to attempt to perform an action that can be done only with admin privileges. Now, you can see up here the UAC box is open at the top, asking if you're sure you want to do that. Now, if you were a standard user account, as you can see in the second picture here, it's going to say, okay, you need an admin account to do this. Here's an admin account, type in the password for that person. So, and if it doesn't get that, it's not going to allow the action to be performed, because the UAC level is that an admin is the only person that can do this. And the reason the UAC is there, it prevents malicious background tasks from gaining admin privileges when the administrator is logged on, because you're going to be prompted, are you sure you want to do this? Now, the admin or administrator can log in using a less powerful user account for normal desktop activities, but still be able to perform admin activities while logged in as a regular user account. Now I want to take a look at the Network and Sharing Center. You'll spend a lot of time with network issues in this location in troubleshooting. Now if we go ahead and click here, you see that I have a icon of a picture with a cable. So if I click on that, you can see it says Open Network and Sharing Center. Click on that, and your Network and Sharing Center opens up. You can see also, if you wanted to go to the control panel, you could go into your control panel and select the Network and Sharing Center as well. Alright, so here we're going to see what all connections we have. We can check the adapter settings. If we have wireless, we can see the different wireless profiles that are saved there. So we can, if we're cleaning up someone's computer and they see a bunch of wireless profiles where they've been to, say airport, Starbucks, we can delete a bunch of those, and it just creates clutter, especially if it's an area they're not going to go to anytime soon. But if we click on our connection, let's say the local area connection here, we can get some general information about that. We can see that there are packages that are being sent and received or not. You may find out that there's a problem with the network because no packets are being sent or received. We can see what type of connectivity we have, if we have access or not. If there's lots of information, we can see our speed here. Great area to be in. If we wanted to change our adapter settings, we could click on there. If we had wireless connectivity, we would see that we have wireless adapters listed as well that we could troubleshoot as well. If we want to disable one, let's say we're going to be using the LAN connection rather than the wireless, we could right click on the wireless, select disable. We're not deleting it, we're just saying we don't want to use that right now. And we could use our local area connection, which is probably going to give us a faster speed of data information, transfer information, receiving information anyway, because it's going to be a faster connection. So we have lots of abilities we can do here. We can, if we've got wireless on here as well as our local area connection, we can see how that information is here. We can see if possibly there's no internet access, then we would know that we have a problem with that connection, because they will all be listed here in our View Our Active Networks. Sometimes you'll see that there is a break up here. Let's say there's a red X. We're not getting to the internet. A lot of times you can click on that red X and Windows will automatically fix the issue. Maybe it's a DNS issue. Maybe it just needs to re-enable the adapter, disable it, and then re-enable it. It'll do that in the background for you. Now, based on what connection you are using, whether it's the local area connection or the wireless, that will tell you what you're using based on this icon down here. Right now we're using our local area connection, so it looks like a computer with a wire. If we had a wireless connection, you would see a strength meter displayed down here to let us know that we are using wireless. Now we'll conclude this lesson by talking a little bit about Windows Help and Support. So I'm going to close this now, and we're just going to start our Windows Help utility. We're going to go down here to Start, and we're just going to type Help and Support, or we can just simply click here. Now the Windows Help and Support just gives us tips for using how to troubleshoot some problems, or if we have a question. Let's just say we wanted to type, we had a question, a general question. We could just type here in our search box, and let's say we wanted to type in arrow because we wanted more information about Windows Arrow. Oh, look at that. We have 26 results right away. What is the Arrow desktop experience? What about the Arrow troubleshooter? How do we use Arrow Flip 3D? So essentially, we use this tool just to try to teach ourselves about Windows. It's there, it's always there, and it's really simple to use. Now we can also use the web to help us. Let's say we want to know some more information about a certain feature with our Microsoft operating system. We can go to Microsoft's website because it has tons of information such as support.microsoft.com or windows.microsoft.com. We just click our browser, type it in, it brings up a page, and we can search for whatever we're looking for on the website. Another resource is just using a search engine. We can use Google, we can use Bing, whatever you want to use to look for information. If there's a problem, you're probably not the first person to have it. Go out to the old interweb. You can probably find a ton of forums, or perhaps there's already some technical documents created, perhaps a YouTube video to help you resolve the issue you're currently facing. Don't spend too much time trying to figure something out yourself when there's probably a solution already out there. That's it for Chapter 3 over Introduction to Windows Operating System. Hopefully you found a lot of helpful information in there. Definitely go back and use those tools and get familiarized with them, such as msinfo32.exe to bring up the system information window. Go into the system window, check out what operating system you're using, the RAM. Definitely check out your Windows Experience Index. Use all those tools, get familiarized with them. You will be asked questions if you go take your certification test in the 802 section, the A+ 220-802 section. There are questions about the actual operating system itself and what tools you might use to find certain information. Thank you everyone for joining along in Chapter 3. I'll see you in Chapter 4.